uh, begin with so Sunain, you are from MDI Gurgaon, Ayushi from IIM Calcutta, and Sadhana from IIM Ahmedabad. 2023 batch, all three of you?
No, 2024.
2024, acha,
Yes,
you are currently
graduate.
a student there.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So let's start with you, Ayushi.
Sure.
You have, how many PPOs do you have currently, or how many job opportunities have you had?
So during this tenure, I've had 3 offers. I had a PPO from Unilever, from Godrej Capital, and a PPI from Amazon.
That's brilliant. And those three sectors are really different, right? So Unilever would be FMCG. When Beverly mentioned Godrej, I thought that would be in the so Godrej Capital, which would be finance, and Amazon. What sort of role?
Product
So
management.
Amazon is a product role. Brilliant. So then it comes to me. You're in your first year. You would have done some electives, but there is still a lot to learn. How do you actually decide which one to go for? And first of all, have you made that decision? And on what basis did you decide I'll go with X or Y or Z?
Right. So coming to your question, it's a very important decision of your life, since the company that you would be joining, you're thinking ideally of having a long-term career in the same company. So for me, because since these domains are very different, first of all, I looked at the industry that I'm really interested in, and the industry I was most interested in was marketing. So that was the key for me. Then after identifying the domain that you're interested in, it is really important to look at the company, the culture, the value at the company, and what can you provide to the company. The company is already giving you an offer, but you have to see what you can additionally provide, because when you join as an intern in a company, you're ideally looking to grab an offer from there, grab a PPO. And also when you're looking to join a company for the final placement, you're looking for a long-term career. So you have to be very sure that the company that you are joining has the right values that aligns with you. And also beside this, to make up my mind that marketing was for me, I spoke to a lot of seniors who were interning at that time in the same company, and someone who has been in the company for like 5 years to know what is the growth trajectory. And also subjects marketing helped me to solidify this decision of mine. So that's how I decided.
So that's how you decided for Unilever.
Yes. I'm
And-
currently interning there.
You're currently
Yes.
interning there. And other than the was, as we talked about in the report, was salary a consideration, or did Unilever offer the best salary, or were the others better?
So in marketing, yes, definitely, and out of all 3 also, yes. But the consideration was not just salary; it was marketing as a domain that I was really interested into. So I was a part of Unilever Changemakers program, which happens before your B school journey starts. So that sort of gave me an insight into the industry, what kind of work is done there, and that really struck a chord with me. And that's
so it's essentially a long-term plan which has been going on. Okay, before I get into a B school, so you started thinking about this, what, 2 years before this actually happened, or a year and a half before?
no. So Unilever Changemakers is a program that happens like 1 or 2 months before you're about to join your B school.
Okay.
So
No, fair enough. And getting multiple offers from leading brands is not something that happens to most of us, if not it happens to probably a tiny minority, even from top B schools. So did you have any specific strategy in place that, okay, this is what I'm going to do? And did platforms or technology, let's say platforms like Unstop, help you in this journey on some way?
So initially, when I got the admit for IIM Calcutta and other colleges, I did not had any such strategy that I'll aim for a PPO or a PPI. As I mentioned, it was only after getting a chance to be a part of Unilever Changemakers when I got the offer from them and from other companies. And this was also due to competition. So Godrej was due to a program called Godrej Loud. Amazon, because of their flagship event, case competition, which is Amazon Ace. So it was due to all these events that I got the offer. And after getting the offer, I strategized that how do I crack it. And then I sort of looked into the company more. What brands do they have? Like for Unilever, what brands do they have in their portfolio? What are their different campaigns? What are the things that I like about the company? How can I add value? And then after all of this, it is very important to look at your CV also, because you need to know yourself in and out, because the interviewer is also there to know you. So it's better that you know yourself first that what your interests are. So that's how I strategized after getting the offer, but it wasn't before that. Yes.
No, but how, say, Amazon Ace and all
Right.
these programs that you're talking about, because a lot of these kids are essentially getting into B school now.
Right.
And you said that you looked at these programs in the early days or sometimes even before joining the B school. How did you even find out about, the Unilever program or the Amazon Ace program and all
Yes. So here's where the role of technology comes, and platforms like Unstop has given me immense opportunities. So I've participated in other competitions also beyond this through Unstop only. So Amazon was listed on Unstop, and Godrej came directly to the college, and Unilever was also listed on some other platform. So it was due to all these platforms only, and I believe the platform plays a really important role because these days companies have started hiring not just from the colleges but also through these competitions that they are providing. And this year I remember Unstop also provided the very first season of Boat Wave Makers and Maruti Suzuki Accelerate. So in that sense, these platforms have been of immense help to students who are getting into colleges, whether they are in the first year or second year.
Thank you, Ayushi. Someone please edit this particular part. We'll use this in an Unstop campaign 2 months down the line. Moving to you, Sunen. What role does networking and teams play in B schools? Because from your background, from the brief that I've got, that you have been involved in a bunch of team-based activities and you have taken part in a bunch of competitions. I believe some of the awards here as well today. So, A, what do you think is generally these team sort of activities? How do they help? And B, how do you actually decide that, okay, Handa is going to be my team member and Ayushi is not going to be my team member? What makes you decide that?
If it were up to me, I'll take you both in my team. That being said, so what does networking do is basically, I first chose my teammates from my college section, right? So the people nearest to you, that's what you choose. And then you realize it's not fitting. And then there is one teammate sitting right back, Muskan Kedia, and she's the finance genius of our college. And I met her through one of the friends. And we have been teammates for several competitions through the entire year. Now I know my strength lies in product and I can pitch someone what the product needs to be. And then there was another teammate, Akshay Rajput. He was the marketing mind. He would think of campaigns, what would hit with the audience of India. And when we think of campaigns, we think of the glorified campaigns. We don't think of what can be done next. So as it was mentioned that I was a participant in Born with Pidilite, there we went up with the title of India Chalta Jugaad Se, Jugaad Ka Sathi Fevikwik. Now, it was a very bold statement, but we know Pidilite is a company that will be able to pull it off because they have the campaigns that have done that in the past. So we picked that up and we went ahead with that. And then the finances, right? If you asked me to make a P&L 2 years ago, I would have stuttered. I don't.
No one expects what's your background? Engineering?
Engineering.
No one expects an engineer to make a P&L.
Exactly. I didn't know the full form until I joined MBA. Now I can make balance sheets as well. I give projections over the years what is going to be the winning propaganda for the company. But that's where the teammates come in. So as I said, Muskan is here. She actually taught me how to make a P&L. And I have learned finances because of her. And that actually brings you to the table, right? You need one guy who can strategize or a product or something like that, one guy who can market, and one person who can do the finances, because it's impossible to do everything by yourself. And that's why the companies have different roles, right? It's impossible to do everything by yourself. And then we assume what we are offering is the best solution, think that the company has been working on this problem. So most of the cases are given are live cases, companies actually facing them. So they have had a team of 50 working Monday to Friday, 12 hours a day, solving that problem. So you need a diverse background, and that's where the networking comes in.
See, I always hated these type of people when they were in my college because they would never pick me because, the medium category groups, what happens is that, okay, there will be one guy who will be doing 70%, there will be another guy who will be doing another 20-25%, and then there will be the two guys who will come to the stage and then present the presentation. That's essentially what my role used to be. And people like him never picked me in my team. So hopefully things change. So internships is one way to get into, a role of your choice. cracking competitions is another. The third one is probably the more popular one, which is essentially what Sadhana, you worked in the PlaceComm committee at IIM Ahmedabad.
That's right.
That's the best way to get the best job offers, let me tell you that. So, any particular reasons? Why did you pick that, and how did you pick that? How did you even get to be a part of the PlaceComm committee over there?
Okay, so for me, it has always been about whatever work I do in an organization or so to say in a college, it should create an impact. So impact creation is very important for me. And what I saw during the first year of my college was that because we are directly in touch with the PlaceComm mentors, right? And we see them working so hard. So I saw them creating the impact which is visible and direct. They are directly responsible for their junior batches placements and the senior batches placements. So for me, that impact which the PlaceComm creates, that was the reason why I wanted to join. And personally, another reason was I think as a PlaceCommer, you are able to inculcate the capabilities and abilities that help you have better people management skills, because there you have to deal directly with the HRs, you have to negotiate with them, so you're able to handle the situations very well. So these were my reasons to join the PlaceComm.
So prior to joining the B school, did you work in any sort of similar roles before B school, dealing with HR and recruitment or anything like that, or no?
So I have an experience of more than 3 years before joining IMA at Vedanta and Yum Brands. However, because there you don't deal with the recruiters directly, you just deal when you're changing the jobs. But here on daily basis, you're talking to them. You understand what they want. You understand what their requirements are, how the market is. So I think that really helps.
Sure. Let's say if I ask you, what was the biggest advantage of being a PlaceCommer and what was the biggest disadvantage of... See, an internship is always a good idea. Cracking a competition or even taking part in a competition is always a good idea, because even if you don't win, you at least learn a lot.
Absolutely, yes.
And what I've heard from a lot of PlaceCommers is that it's obviously very, very hectic. There is no denying that. But beyond that, so in your own thought process, what do you think was the biggest advantage and the biggest disadvantage of that year of your career?
Biggest advantage, what I feel, as I just mentioned, that because you deal with the recruiters, you become a better negotiator. You know how to manage the stress well, because you're getting a batch of more than 400 placed, and I mean the number is different for different colleges. But then so that time management, that is something that you learn when you're in PlaceComm. And secondly, not just dealing with the recruiters, but because you're not just a PlaceCommer, you're actually a PlaceComm mentor. So you also mentor the students from the junior batch, and that's how you inculcate. You start to understand when to be soft and when to be harsh sometimes, because you have to push the students to create better CVs, to put better CV points in their resumes at times. So that balance as a PlaceComm mentor, that really helps you grow personally, I feel. Now talking about the disadvantage, you just mentioned that disadvantage is managing a lot of things, because you have to have good grades, because of course you're getting your senior and junior batches placed, but you have to, for the finals, grade really matters, especially for some of the profiles. So you have to work on your grades as well. So managing classes along with the PlaceComm, and if on top of that, if you want to participate, let's say, in other extracurricular activities, that becomes really very difficult. So yeah, time management is one thing that that could be a problem.
I do understand. So coming to time management, I believe, Sunan, because a lot of these competitions, maybe in your time they would have been online, but for some of them you would have to travel, you'll have to take breaks from college. At the college, your prof is not going to give you a better grade because you took part in a competition. That never happens. Even though you win, come home with a 3 feet check and a certificate, but it's not so. How do you believe that because at the end of the day, the pre-placement offers, or so you got your job through a PPO or via the regular placement?
So actually, I got placed through my campus first. Then I won the same competition. Then I got a PPO through that internship.
So, how do you actually manage this entire thing? Because, you know, people would want to take part in competitions just for the thrill of it. I actually say I have been a quizzer for most of my, at least in college, and it was a little difficult. But being because your competitions not necessarily get you a job, you have to work for the job as well. So how do you manage the two things?
Okay, so I met this wonderful lady downstairs, and she said it's never smooth sailing. It's about the attitude that you have through the waves. And I guess that's what happens with most of the competitions as well. There are, so I have a lot of wins on my plate, and I have 10 PPI offers through the entire year. But at the same time, those 10 were one of many. So if I have a complete folder where I keep all my presentations, and there are 300 odd of them, and I have like 100 odd wins or 100 odd finals or something like that over the 2 years that I have been, right? But the thing is, and I didn't get any big checks, if that's one of the biggest points, right? If you win HUL Lime, that's a 10 lakh rupee check with you, but you don't always, right? And sadly, most of the competitions I win didn't have a cash prize. But anyway, the people behind you, right behind you, the faces, right? I recognize a lot of them. Even Ayushi, I felt I have seen her before because I was in ACE as well. And that's the kind of people you get to meet. When you go in your B school, you have to fill a resume that's end to end one whole page, right? And it's crazy because I walked in and I wasn't able to fill half a page. I have 22 months of work experience and I still wasn't able to. And I had to write 8 lines in my work experience, and I had 4 lines in my interest to just fill it out. And interest is the section that you are not supposed to fill.
Listening to music.
And I had 4 lines there, and I had written all of these different things. I like motorbiking, I like gaming, I like this, I like that, something to talk about. Right now at this point, because I've done so much through Unstop, I got different competitions when I got some internships, I got different opportunities, PPIs as well for smaller internships as well. I don't have space on my resume anymore. And that is, I think, what you should be aiming for when you come for competitions. It's not about winning the money or the lingering PPI, it's about learning. So as I said, right, I did not know what a PNL meant, but I now can make one. And that's, I guess, the biggest opportunity that opens.
So just a follow up on that, Sunan. So I believe there will be plenty of students here who would not have taken part in any competition during their graduation years. A lot of us don't. From there to just joining a B school, how do you suggest that, okay, if someone wants to, okay, this sounds like a good idea, I do not have a good resume. How do I build a good resume? I take part in a few competitions. Some of them, there is a certain probability that I'll become better and I'll win at it. How do you suggest people figure this part out, that, okay, which competition should I take part in, or how do I actually win a competition? Are there some tips that you would like to share?
Okay, so this is what I did even before I joined the B school. There was a guy who won the Unstop award last year. He was 10th or 12th, right? And he was interested into competitions. My first competition I took up with that guy. I just told him inter-college team is allowed, inter-department team is allowed, everything is allowed, year is also allowed. Let's team up, I just want to learn. And I saw him working with his other 2 teammates. Like, what are they thinking, what do they actually do, and what do they finally present? Because when you think of solutions, you will have 10,000 of solutions. And even this happened with my own team as well. So we would do the research, I didn't do a lot of research, but yeah, we'll do the research, we'll pinpoint problems, you are wrong, we'll fight for 3 hours, and then there will be one very dominant solution which one of us recommended, and that person will definitely do this. I told you so. You would have saved time, and that is how you actually build a team as well, and that helps you a lot through your MBA journey. So just to start off, find someone who is ready to go on a lower competition, not high stakes, not high reward, just a starter. Learn what do you actually think and then implement it through all of your competitions as well.
Fair enough. So right now I don't think Sunan is available because he has already graduated, but Ayushi is. So if any of you is planning to get into the loop, with an inter-college or an inter-year thing, look her up on LinkedIn, might just work out. Ayushi, do you take part in any competitions or stuff like that?
Yes, so I do take part in competitions, and so this, like, I discovered this when I entered the B school. So before entering a B school, I was an engineer and I had a work ex of 11 months. During that entire time, I was never participating into such competition. But when I got into B school, I noticed for the first few competitions on Unstop only, and I started participating in it. So me and my team member, we used to do the submission, even if it was only 1 hour was left to the submission. We had this thing that we want to make the submission and we'll make it no matter how good it is or how bad it is in just an hour. So after time, we started improving this thing, and yes.
Fair enough. So, Satha, my next question is to you. So, because you have insights into the hiring process, so to say. Now, obviously, when they get into a B school, these guys interact with their seniors. Maybe over the next 6 to 9 months, they'll figure out that what the employers are looking for. Is there something that you can share with people who are entering a B school in another month and a half now? What is something that they can do from day one to make their profile more attractive to the employers, or generally how can they improve themselves to be look good to recruiters, so to say, from day one? Grades is something that is there, but beyond that.
So now, what the companies look for, it totally depends on the company itself, the role that they're offering. However, what I have seen generally is that you should always have a balance in your resume, as in not just the grades. You should always have good extracurriculars. You should try to put some PORs, and even if you don't have a work ex, then you can balance other things with the extras and co-curricular activities. So from day one, I think that you should become a part of the clubs that you have in the college. It really helps. Then you may want to take PORs. Now what other companies look for, of course, one, the balance in your resume. It should not be, even if you're lacking somewhere, the other section of your resume could probably cover up for that. Secondly, the role that the company is providing, it depends on that as well. For example, some marketing companies might want to look at the case competitions that you would have won in the marketing domain, or the consult companies might want to look for the strategy and consult case competitions. That really helps because they know that okay, you're interested in that, is why you've participated in that competition and you won as well. So the finance companies, some finance companies might prefer people who are having work ex in the similar domains. So apart from the case competitions, PORs, extracurriculars, grades, these are the things that you should focus on from day one. And of course, from day one you should start networking as well. Networking really helps. It helps you grow not only through your B school journey, but after that as well.
Thank you. Thanks for that.